next time I applied exceptional talent visa.
Nice.
Exceptional talent. Okay, yeah, exactly.
Welcome back to Artfully Crafted. My name is Alienor, and each week I travel to a craftsperson's studio, interview them and show you their work. This week we're headed to a peninsula in North Wales to interview silversmith Yusuke Yamamoto. I first came across his work at last year's Goldsmiths Fair, and I mean, the work will speak for itself when you see it. It's absolutely stunning. But when I got talking with him, I was very intrigued by the fact that he was, had moved from Japan to the UK and then had settled in Wales. I just knew there would be more to the story. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and let's get into it. Hi Yusuke.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me here. We're in your workshop, which is on a peninsula in North Wales, is that right?
Yes, thank you for coming a long way here.
Yeah, it was delightful. Really, really beautiful drive. Some sharp corners, but a little adventure whilst we're on a filming trip is a good thing.
Great.
So can you tell us, please, about your work, the materials that you work in, and a little bit about the process?
Okay, I'm silversmith, and I'm mainly making silver stuff, silver beaker and silver bars, something like that. And my technique is hammer raising and chasing. I'm using technique. I made from like this silver seed, flat seed, raising it, and then pour the pitch inside, and then chasing from outside. So you can see dots.
Yeah.
I punched from the outside and making like these shapes and textures, everything from outside. So it was made from about maybe 15 centimeter seed. Yeah.
It's really beautiful, and I love the texture of it.
So my design is, my beaker is thousands of punch, made by thousands of punches.
And you do every single one by hand?
Yeah, you can see the dots.
Okay.
I punched one each.
That's a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Patience and concentration.
Yeah. So almost of my design is gathering of small components, small patterns. On all of the small patterns made by punch marks like this. And also sometimes using 24 karat gold leaf. It was inlaid. It's called Nunome inlay technique.
Okay.
Yeah, it was used for decoration for Japanese katana sword.
Okay, right.
It was technique from there.
Wow.
And it was quite thin seed.
Yeah.
And I cut the surface of silver by chisel.
I mean, is it? It's gold leaf,
gold
really,
leaf.
really thin, right? So
Yeah,
it's the ones that you use for decoration.
But gold leaf is quite thin, isn't it?
Okay.
Gold foil is a little bit thicker than gold leaf.
Okay.
So
all right.
it was 0.02 milli or something. But quite thin.
Still just a few millimeters. Not even. You said 0 point something millimeter. Okay, yeah. So it's.
But enough thick.
Yeah, but a lot of dexterity required.
So it was cut the surface and press on it, and then squashed inside the groove.
Okay, wow.
So I didn't use the glue, no heat, just squash the inside groove.
That's
magic. The inside is just silver.
Yeah.
But
so all predominantly silver, but with touches of gold.
Yeah.
And what's your inspiration for this piece?
This one is titled Sea Ice beaker, image of sea ice.
Yeah.
So sometimes sea ice is some part is quite shiny, but some part is quite white, like a frost. And some part is melted. You can see the water melting inside the water, like that's loads of texture inside sea ice.
Yeah.
Like that's story in it.
I was going to say actually, like those areas where you've hammered each
Yeah.
dot.
So each
It
dot
looks like the sand bed.
yeah. And also each texture is different. So I using loads of punches. The almost of my punches made by my hand.
Okay.
All punches handmade.
So you're making your own tools.
Yes.
To then create the effect that you want to have.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if I want to make something new texture, I start to thinking about how to make that texture.
Right. How many new textures do you make any given year? Like, is it quite often, or is it quite?
It depends on the year.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes I need to make a new design, new commission, or something. I found some new design.
Yeah.
So I need to start to think about it. But it depends on the year.
So how many different textures do you have now that you can create?
I have no idea, but can I show my tools? This is simply a round shape. And this is flat and line.
Okay, yes, I can see you've got quite a few already.
Yeah, and
and then the whole box.
Yeah, this is textures. Not so much, but you can see that.
Oh wow! How do you make these? Is it like do you have to maybe carve wax or something like?
No,
it
was
directly?
steel. It's a tool steel, so quite hard steel.
Yeah.
And it's actually I have a blacksmith background, so I can easily make how to say I can forge and making shapes.
Fine. Yeah.
So and then when I make these textures, it depends on the texture. But for example, this one heat up completely, turn yellowish, and then punch on just a hammer on the stone.
Oh.
It was made by stone.
Oh, it's okay, right, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. So when it's yellow, it's kind of like, it's a little bit soft, right?
Yes, enough soft, before melting point.
Right, you don't want it to turn red or, right, okay.
Yeah,
amazing.
And then just punch.
So you're kind of finding textures that you like in nature and things like that.
Yeah, and some other punches just make using a grinder, sanding machine, and then making the line, or sometimes cut the surface by saw, something like that.
So you take inspiration from nature.
Nature and everyday observation, I think.
Yeah.
Every day, maybe just suit some percent of my brain thinking about new design, looking for something new in my head. So when I'm walking around here or watching TV or reading some books, some percent of my brain is thinking something new.
You're always switched on, always thinking about work. Fair enough. And I couldn't help but notice some sort of impressionist, Van Gogh reference. Is that other artists are also an inspiration?
Yes. 5-6 years ago, I visited Amsterdam, Van Gogh Museum, and I really inspired from his work. And also, I felt some similarity with my work. I'm making patterns and decorations by punch marks, and it was quite. I just saw it was similar.
It just resonated with you.
And Van Gogh was punch mark, brush stroke, and also dots, and his design, his drawing is making tree and how to say
Nature.
nature and
Yeah.
also sky,
Yes.
like moving low, swirling sky or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a quite powerful way he doing. It was really inspiring for me.
Yeah. And actually, because when we were standing just outside your workshop and we were looking at the nature around, and you said that at one point you got inspired by the wind swirling through the grass and the trees. And you're right, it's like some of his paintings, there's that feeling of movement. Right. And I can see that's really, something that's core in your work is that sense of movement and texture. And I can see the similarities too. That's really great.
One of my blowing the wind beaker and vessel is inspired from the wind. But first one is when I used to live in Kefnamurvik estate near here. They have a beautiful garden. I love to walk in the garden and a little bit small wood park. Wood park is and I walking there. And I felt some wind and also sound of the leaves moving and also smells. So I inspired from them and then put in the design. And also one of big vase, blowing the wind vase, is inspired from in front of our garden. Just watching the field, beautifully moving the grass by the wind, I designed from it. So my design is quite close from my life.
Yeah, the world around you and personal observations.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. I mean, the obvious question is, why Wales? But when we were talking about this, it kind of became very obvious that one thing sort of led to another that led you here. So I feel like maybe the right point, and you've already mentioned this, is to start with your training as a blacksmith.
In Japan.
Yes. So can you tell me about that?
It's a bit long story, but I used to graduate Japanese university, but Japanese art university, and then I work for the university as a technician.
And what was the training like? What sort of things did you learn on the course?
I graduate. I graduate metalsmithing course. But course is industrial design and interior design and craft design mixed together. And
lots.
Lots.
Yeah.
And then I choose the craft design and metalsmithing design.
Okay.
Right. Then I graduate there, and then I work for the course as a kind of technician position.
Fine. So you're sort of at that point you were getting like a really strong technical grounding, basically. Okay.
So Japanese universities, I'm not sure, but our university mainly at first teach how to make tools. And how to make tools. So because of that, I can make tool. And then how to make tool, and then at first 2 years is learn the skill, basic skill, I think.
So like the building blocks.
Building blocks, just a basic. Okay. And then last year we can start to choose focus on what you want to do.
Okay.
So I choose the blacksmithing, and then I made the sculptor.
Okay, so it's maybe like less freedom, but it's highly technical. Okay, And so you stayed on as a technician. To help support on the course.
Yes.
And then what happened after that?
So on the final year, final of my working year, one of the silversmiths, Hiroshi Suzuki, come back to our university. He graduated same university.
Okay.
So he back to our university as a professor. And then I met him, and then I worked with him in the university. And then after that, I worked for him for 1 year.
Okay.
As I helped his work.
Okay.
And then I talked with him, and then I want to be an artist at that time, especially full-time artist I want to be.
Right.
And then I talk with him, and then I saw it might be realistic to be an artist will be moved to UK. I thought, and then fortunately,
So he recommended to you to.
not recommended might be.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just thought it might be possible to be an artist.
Okay. Did he have experience of the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was established silversmith. He's famous silversmith in this country.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So he had some links already.
Yeah,
So
I
he
think.
kind of introduced that
Yeah,
idea to you,
yeah.
I guess.
But
Okay.
he told me about the culture and the market.
I see.
And yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So it was kind of like, oh, if you want to be a full-time artist,
Yeah.
the UK is a good place to do
Yeah,
that.
good place, and it might be possible.
I
I
see.
felt possibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't realise that there wasn't a market for your type of work in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always think Japan is like the very best of crafts and
yes.
decorative arts.
Yeah,
and
loads of beautiful craft, especially potter, ceramics, and metalsmith as well. And one of my mentor is a metal technician, metal specialist. He restoration metal old stuff, and also he make Buddhist statue, or sometimes he made tea ceremony stuff, something like that. He can do anything. And one of mentor, he is great technique. He have great technique, and also I learned from him a lot. But still, I felt might be difficult to be artist in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the pull towards the UK was
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
So how did you decide where to go?
And then, fortunately, Anna Gordon one of the jeweler, and tutor at the Glasgow School of Art, come to our university to lecture, and then I met her, and then I heard from her about the artist in residence as a system. I don't know that at all. Then I heard from her, and then I might go.
I see, because you were already in a role at the university, so I guess like artist in residence attached to university, is it a little bit like being a tutor as well? Like, are you helping with the students
between
there?
tutor and student? I think once a week, speak with student.
Yeah.
Not speak with student.
Fine.
And then other day we can use the workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of a good trip.
Yeah,
in a way.
good relationship. I think. Yeah.
Fine. So you basically packed up and left.
Yes, exactly. We went to the Glasgow, and first year we are artist in residence. Me and my wife is artist in residence at Glasgow School of Art.
So you both managed to get a position.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Yes, quite fortunate. And after that, we have experience of teaching. So next year, just 1 month, we are visiting lecturer as the Glasgow School of Art offer me as a visiting lecturer. So I teach the hammer raising technique to the student.
Amazing. And so that was the technique that you'd learned on your metalsmithing course.
Yeah.
That's really great.
So it's a great point for our university is teaching all technique. But basic, quite surface of technique, but we can learn the surface of all of metalsmithing technique. So I learned chasing, hand raising and casting, blacksmithing, jewelry making, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's really
really basic technique.
Yeah. The artist in residence and the visiting lecturer,
Yes.
like did that sort of have a time limit on it?
Yes,
or?
just we have just a 2-year visa, so we have to back to Japan.
Well, you're still here.
Exactly. So, but it's a quite hard way because it takes next time I back to Japan.
Okay.
Then next time I applied exceptional talent visa.
Nice.
Exceptional talent. Okay, yeah, exactly. So, but it was quite a hard visa.
Yeah.
It takes 1 year to prepare for it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I worked in Japan.
Yeah.
Not work, but temporary worked in Japan. And
Did you have to prepare like a portfolio, or
Yeah.
like how does it work?
No,
This visa.
I need to 3 endorsement letter
Okay.
and also media recognition. Media recognition.
Oh, so like a newspaper, or
Newspaper
magazine.
and magazine. Yeah. So,
Okay.
actually, I prepared for applying for 1 year.
Okay.
But before that, 1 year preparing for the letter and ask the letter and also media.
Yeah.
Everything prepare for it.
So what media, like, who did you have sort of supporting your application?
Fortunately, endorsement letter is Hiroshi
Yes.
Suzuki, and also Goldsmith Company, Rosemary,
Amazing.
and also Glasgow Schoolbird, Helen Marriott.
Amazing.
Yeah, three person.
So you had really strong support.
Yes, and also fortunately, I met Japanese embassy. Yeah, great support from them.
Yeah.
And then they introduced me to the newspaper, and then my article on the newspaper. Yeah, and then I got the media recognition, and then some magazine write article for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's just like everyone really like put together to make it happen.
Yes.
That's really cool. And so, okay, but that still doesn't explain why you decided on Wales.
Okay.
And also, not just Wales, but like a peninsula on the west coast.
Yeah. So and then I applied visa and I got visa successfully, and then I sent. But I don't have any job, and also I don't have any living space.
Yeah.
So I sent email loads of my silversmith friends.
Yeah, because you said both you and your wife.
Yes.
So you need quite a lot of space to work.
Yes. So I sent email, do you need a hand or something like that? And then, fortunately, one of silversmith, Metalsmith, living in North Wales.
Right.
Yeah, Junko Mori.
Yes.
She was busy at that time, so move here.
Sounds like the silversmith community is really strong, right?
Yeah.
It's really nice because I think there's a lot of crafts where people can be quite like competitive or like, whereas this sounds really supportive.
But silversmithing field is quite supportive, support each other, I think. They are really kind.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like, everyone's been sort of looking after each other a little bit. And yeah, that's great. Perfect. So you start working with Junko Mori?
So I started to work for Junko Mori for 2 years, I think. And then I left her job, but still living here because of the beautiful place, loads of nature around here.
Yes.
And
you said nature is a big inspiration for you, so I can see how that helps.
So loads of inspiration around here.
Yeah.
And also quite countryside, so I can make any noise, especially nighttime as well.
Oh, at nighttime?
Nighttime as well.
Okay, it goes around the clock.
Just come and see around here, so no problem at all.
Yeah, okay.
And also, quite compared with city center, it was quite nice living cost.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of makers actually that are like moving to Wales. I've been seeing it a lot actually, that like people sort of like go to London or the big city to kind of get their training and get inspiration and sort of their network. And then as soon as they can, it's sort of, moving to a place where, as you say, you have room to kind of, to work really. I was going to say room to sort of like grow and explore, etc. But it's much more sort of like survivalist than that, right? It's like you need the space and you can't get it in the big cities. The little bowl that we were looking at earlier, like how long does that take you?
It probably takes 4 days to make this one.
Yeah.
But only chasing...
Even with all the dots?
Yeah, only chasing part is 4 days.
Right.
But
But you did just say you don't sleep, so that's actually a normal person. That's 8 days.
Might be. But raising part is a bit different because when I do hammer raising, I do several pieces at the same time.
Oh, I see. You do you take a few different sheets and you're sort of like getting the shape. Okay, fine. Yeah.
So put on the seats on I was there and then heat it, I knead it all together and then clinch it and then one each hammer raise and then put the next one hammer raise, something like a belt conveyor.
Okay, so like that initial stage, you kind of do it like all in one go, a few different pieces. Okay. Yeah. And then what about, so that's the stage. Okay, so you've hammered it, you've raised the shape. So what's next in the process?
Okay, and then pour the pitch inside. Okay. Pitch is a kind of tar, and when it was heated up, it was like a liquid.
Okay.
And they cool it down. It was like a. I can show you. This one is pitch.
Yeah.
It's cooled down. It was quite hard.
Yeah.
But still soft, a little bit soft. You can see that
You're making
nail
marks. Okay.
So it was flat beaker, but I can chase from surface. So because of the pitch,
it's like a support.
Yeah, it was a cushion. So pitch allows me to the chasing from the outside.
Okay, so you raise it first, then you pour the pitch
inside, and then chase it from outside.
That makes sense. And how do you take it out at the end? Do you melt it again?
Yeah, heat up, gently heat up, and then melt and go out.
Does it not risk melting the actual silver?
Gently heat up. No problem. It was silver. No problem at all.
Okay, so the melting temperature for this is lower than for silver?
Quite low.
Quite low. Okay, fine. And then what about?
Oh yeah, it is a hallmark.
Marks,
This YY is my mark, and 958 is a quality mark.
Okay.
Silver 958 is Britannia silver.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and this one is Britannia silver mark.
Okay.
And this is assay mark.
Yeah.
This one is Edinburgh surface.
Okay.
Yeah.
Edinburgh. All right.
And this one is age mark. 2025 is large A. This one is much easier. This one is large hallmark.
Yeah.
This is YY is my mark. This is lion, not lion, leopard is London surface.
Okay.
This is Britannia silver.
Yes.
And 958 and then W is age mark.
Okay. Oh, that's really great. Yeah, so you can sort of like get a read. Anyone can pick this up and get all of the information about this piece.
Who made and who made it and when it made and who certificated it.
Kind of feel like some of the processes that you're describing, they're very like there's a lot of repetition, right? But it sounds to me like, hammering into metal, it must be quite like painful or like maybe like in terms of posture.
Hammering is okay, but because hammering it and then stand up and then move and then I need it and then back to the chair, something like that. But chasing is whole day like this posture, whole day 9 to 5, but except lunchtime, whole day like this tapping whole day.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So my back and the shoulder and neck is quite tense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope maybe you do some like long walks in the countryside to kind of help like with posture a little bit.
Sometimes swimming and also acupuncture.
Acupuncture, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I guess it's like you almost need it, right? Because otherwise you must have so much pain in your shoulders. What we do for art, huh?
Yes. So and also in the morning, little bit exercise at first before start work.
Oh, so kind of like
stretching and exercising, and then after the bath, every day I have a bath, and then after the bath, little bit stretch again.
Wow.
Every day.
So it's like you have to have kind of these rituals almost. Have you ever had a repetitive strain injury or something that meant you couldn't work for?
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of have to manage.
Yeah. At this point.
Because I think I've interviewed some people who said that because they were just doing one thing again and again. At some point, they started, becoming aware, that they might have some problems and they needed to like adjust their technique or work in a different way, or maybe kind of like limit how much they do of one specific thing in one day.
One thing when I doing large work, I using large punch and also large hammer. I punch the whole day, but posture is okay because every time stretching every night. But large hammer, the large punch is good. How to say strong impact to my finger. So next day,
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I had. You can see like this.
Yeah.
Little bit cracked. Every time it was cracked because I hold here.
Oh my gosh.
So little bit cracked here, and then at that time little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, swallow here.
Right. Yeah, it's so fun. I was thinking more of your shoulders. I hadn't thought about your fingers.
Yeah, but
and of course they're way more delicate, right? And like the skin around. Yeah. Gosh.
But recently when I doing large work, I using the finger guard.
I see.
Using
something to protect a little bit. Yeah, because otherwise it must be quite painful as well. Wow. Yeah. So a lot of things to consider. But your work is being recognised. I mean, we've talked about some ways in which it has been recognised in the past, but it's also part of a couple of museums as well.
Yes, it's great opportunity and great honor. And one of the large dish went acquired by National Museum of Wales, National Museum of Cardiff.
Okay.
And also one of vase, round vase, acquired Victorian Albert Museum. It was great fortunate.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
When were those pieces acquired?
Sorry?
When were they acquired?
Large dish is last year. And also large vase, round vase is early this year.
Okay.
In January.
So are they on display, both of them? Maybe not the most recent one, right?
Most recent one is not still in the shelf, but maybe hopefully soon. I want to see in the museum.
Is it on the online archive already or not?
In online archive, but still no image.
Oh, okay.
It's quite.
Because I was going to say I can link it below. Well, I'll do that anyway. But hopefully people can have a look at it soon. That's really cool. And you mentioned already Goldsmiths Company.
Yeah.
I know that you exhibit at Goldsmiths Fair, but how did you sort of first come into contact with them?
No contact from them. I applied Goldsmiths Fair to show the fair.
When did you apply? Were you at Glasgow? Or
when I was in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Applied, and the first time I showed it there is 2012 or 2013.
Right.
It was great opportunity. Fortunately I got to the space and the whole day standing in the shelf and then selling and conversation with customer. It was a great experience.
And I mean, it's become a bit of a sort of like landmark for you in the year, right?
Yes,
it's kind of like a focus.
Yes, annual fair. It is quite important annual fair for me, and every year I prepare for it from roughly April to September.
Wow.
Yeah, Goldsmith Fair is end of September to early October. So
So actually, like half of your year is spent preparing for it.
Yeah, but it depends on the year. Sometimes prepare for it, but I got commission. If I got commission, I need to do.
Still have to juggle things.
Yes.
Okay, and then there's a little bit of time, I guess, afterwards as well to follow up on things.
Yes, after the fair, sometimes do a commission. Also, something follow up, send email or desk work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel like goldsmiths is kind of like your main, it's kind of like your main source of clients?
Yes,
Yeah.
main opportunity to sell my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are, I guess, are like, they're really there to buy.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is because there's quite, there's so many fairs nowadays. And it's sort of, some fairs people are always saying like, oh yeah, like people really go there to, spend money and engage with the people who are exhibiting, etc. And then some fairs, it tends to be more like, oh, people like to go, but they're not engaging. So that's why I was wondering, how do you feel like Goldsmith? Is it a really, like for you as an independent maker, is it really impactful?
Yeah, great, helpful, and also loads of support from Goldsmith company, Goldsmith Fair team. It was great.
Okay, so really, really key then.
Yeah, and also advertisement as well, I think.
What are the sort of like requirements for, I mean, obviously the quality of your work has to be amazing, but like what else comes into consideration in the selection process?
Maybe we have to be in this country. I mean, be in the UK.
Okay, so like I live here.
To apply.
Yeah,
To live in UK for apply it, and also I don't remember.
yeah. But that's interesting. So you're, in a way, if you want to keep showing at Goldsmiths there, then that means you need to stay like living in the UK, right?
Living in the UK, yes.
Right. So you're sort of like, you're almost tied to your clients. Anyway. And another opportunity that you mentioned to me was you received a bursary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last year I got bursary from Art Council of Wales, and for the project, my social project.
Okay.
And Philip Hughes at the Lutheran Craft Center kindly helped me and support me about my social and application and social direction. Everything helped me, and also creator Gregory Patterson helped me as well.
Oh, amazing! So so you've had where was the show?
Last year, from July to September.
Okay, so Roofing Craft Center, and then has it gone anywhere else since?
So it was a touring social. So this year I will have a social at the Scottish Gallery.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So going back to Scotland now.
Yeah, back to Scotland. This summer I will back to Scotland.
And how big is the show?
But 1 month show. Yeah.
And how many pieces?
This year I'm still not sure how much I will show there, but maybe lots of my work will show there.
Are you making it all like now, or is it from?
Yes, some of pieces from the past I made, and also some new piece as well.
Okay.
Yeah, still I'm making.
Yeah. So is it sort of secret things that
no, it's
know?
Okay. I'm making that, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll be able to show some of the process, which is exciting. Perfect. I'm wondering, what is your like dream project that you would want to work on? Maybe a piece that you've been thinking about, you want to try.
Okay. So every time challenge new things is every time excited, and because so for example, I'm thinking to make teapot now.
Oh,
I never made teapot.
Yeah.
But quite challenging for me.
Yeah.
But it's not but small dream, but I want to make.
Yeah. So what will be the challenge for teapots then?
Loads of soldering for me.
Oh, I see. Right. It's kind of like putting lots of elements together.
So it was complicated. Might be complicated, but it was interesting. It must be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess, well, you can test how watertight it is pretty easily, right? That's exciting. And what's your hope for the future?
Keep living as an artist. a full-time artist. Keep living as a full-time artist is my dream.
Yeah. Well, I really hope that you're able to live out your dream
Thank you very
and
much.
that you make a wonderful teapot with hopefully not too many sleepless nights working on it. And yeah, I hope that I'll get to see more of your work around the UK or at the Vienna Museum. And yeah, thank you so much for
You are
having
welcome.
me.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
I've linked Yusuke's website below, and there are also 2 ways through which you can admire his work in person. The first, of course, is through his solo show, and the other is through the Goldsmiths Fair, which will be happening at the Goldsmiths Hall in October. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can of course leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them or get Yusuke's input. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot, especially as at the moment this channel is entirely self-funded. So please spread the word. Like, share and subscribe. See you next week. Yusuke's website below. There are 2 ways in which you can see his work in person. Oh gosh, what am I so wish I was a native speaker.